Hey y'all, former plant killer here, Jessie with Living on a Prayer Flower Farm, and in today's video we will be starting some China Aster. I hope you'll stick along to see how these turn out. We'll follow through all the way until they get their first true leaves, so stick around. Let's get started. China Aster. I had never even heard of China Aster until last year, but they are beautiful. Beautiful. However, I had some problems last year. They are susceptible to leafhoppers, which means disease. Leafhoppers transferring disease to them. And I had maybe 5 plants. Out of the 20 or so that I started, I had 5 plants that actually bloomed, and they were this short. I'll throw up a picture of the bouquet that I was able to create with my super short stems, but I fell in love with them. They are gorgeous. So today we are going to be starting from Floret Flowers, Moonstone, China Aster, Rose Quartz Mix. From Johnny's Select Seeds, we'll be starting Lady Coral Lavender and King Size Apricot. I actually have more aster than this, but I don't have enough space to get them all started. So we're going to start with these. If you've never grown aster before, they do take 110 to 120 days till bloom time, so you want to get them started early. According to Johnny's, support may be necessary. They do recommend to transplant these. So 1/8 inch deep in flats. Sorry, can't speak today. So 1/8 deep in flats indoors, 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. Transplant to your cell packs or individual containers when first true leaves appear. Harden off and transplant after the last frost. And it says row covers will help with spread of disease caused by the dreaded leafhoppers. Remove before bloom. Alright, if you're going to direct sow these, sow after last frost when soil temperatures... Direct seed, sow after last frost when soil temperatures have reached 75 to 70 degrees. Takes 10 to 14 days to germinate, growing on around 70 degrees and 60 Fahrenheit at night. Do not allow these plants to become root bound. Ooh, kind of feel like that's a command. Do not allow plants to become root bound. I am taking that seriously, so I'm going to put some in here, and then as soon as they get their first true leaves, they're getting out of here and into some good pots. Light requirements: sun and fertile, well-drained soil with a pH of 5.5 to 7.5. I think my soil's okay. I'll have to look at it because my soil pH is really low. Pinching is unnecessary, just FYI it says that. First one up, let's plant the Lady Coral Lavender. And I'm just going to use one of my labelers to just make little holes in here. Let's get 1, 2. And I remember it took forever for these to grow out in the field for me. And when I say forever, I mean forever. And then when they finally started coming up, the leafhoppers got them, and it was not fun. And my soil is already nice and moist. If you are new to my channel, I always start with a nice moist soil when seed starting. Reason is, if you start with dry potting seed mix, that stuff is very light and it's essentially going to wash away your seeds when you go to try and water them. It's best to go ahead and start it off nice and damp before you put the seeds in there. So just FYI. Always label the seeds. And I find it very helpful to always put the date of when you started your seeds so that you have a reference of how old they are. Alright, next up, let's do our Rose Quartz Mix. Got these from Floret and they are just beautiful, giant pink blooms. So excited to have them. All right, now we're to Florette's Moonstone China Aster. Gotta admit, I don't really remember what this one looked like, but it must have been pretty. Let's see. Ah, one of the most uniquely colored asters we've seen, this moody gem reminds us of Pacific Northwest skies during winter. This smoky lavender beauty has a muted metallic quality and its subtle light center offers extra dimension. Each plant is smothered in at least a dozen stems topped with ruffled blooms. Whew, that sounds so pretty. Petals are slightly incurved and the flowers hold up very well in both the garden and the vase. That sounds amazing. I'm excited, Florette. I can't wait to see how these do. I'm excited to hopefully maybe able to grow aster this year properly. So we'll see how that goes. Now I am planning on planting more aster than the 20 or so seeds I'm putting in now. I will do another planting of these probably a month or two later once I've got most of the seeds that have to be grown indoors outside. The name of the game right now is harden off plants and free up some room on my grow lights. All right, and our last one is the one I'm looking forward to the most, the king size apricot. From the picture at Johnny Seeds, I mean, these things look huge and they'll be perfect for summer bouquets. I can't wait, just seeing them in the vase, bouquets, seeing them in my field is just gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see these. All right, now I'm just gonna spritz these just to kind of make sure that they get a good start. I've been having a bit of a mold issue, so I'm gonna use some vermiculite just to kind of help try and keep that at bay. All right, these are gonna go into the grow lights with a dome on top. And thanks to YouTube magic, I'll see you when it's time to pot them up. All right, guys, let's take a look at our aster. 11th, today's March 11th. You can see these were planted 2/28, so about 12 days old. And you can see our seedlings are coming up. We still don't have our first true leaves yet, but it looks like they're starting to come up a little bit. So we'll give it a few more weeks and then we'll see what those first true leaves look like. Okay, so the aster has its first set of true leaves. We'll get to that in just a moment. I just wanted to update you on some plants and my tulips that are in bloom. Let me show you what's going on right here. So right now I'm currently hardening off my yarrow, my lemon mint bee balm, my love in a mist, and my larkspur are all getting hardening off. Are all hardening off so you can go outside into the beds ASAP. And then out here I've got my verbena, some poppies, and then of course more snapdragons. I gotta say on my snapdragons, well, I didn't amend the soil like I should have before I put them in, because the original plan was I was just going to use the auger to dig a hole, throw in some amendment, and then the plant. It's not enough. That's why we're having to do so much out here with the plow, the tilling, and the amending, because this is what my snapdragons look like after I put them in the ground a month ago. Do you see my issue? They're still the same size. My snapdragons are still super short. Some of them are branching very well. So what I may do is just go ahead and let these do their thing, but as soon as they're done, I'm gonna rip them out, till up this area, and put in new ones. That'll do a lot better. I did till the rest of the bed where the rest of the snapdragons are going, so they should do a lot better. Also discovered I need to lay down more drip tape. 3 lines is not enough. I need at least 4. So we'll get that going. But my tulips, guys. My tulips are beautiful. Oh, they are small but mighty. You see the butterfly? So this one had some purples in it, but I already pulled them. And then my daffodils. So things are happening. Things are happening. We are getting stuff done. Not as quickly as I want, but we're getting stuff done. And it just takes time, and I've got seeds. Oh, I've got so many seeds I gotta start. But let's get back to the aster and potting them up because they got their first true leaves. Plus, it's really windy out here. So first set of true leaves, that's these leaves right here. Those are our first set of true leaves for our aster. And what we're going to do today is we are going to go ahead and pot them up so that they have plenty of room to grow. So I'm just going to gently grab it up and put it in. And I'm going to press it down and then tap, 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 tap. And of course I'll need to make tags for each pot because trying to group them and keep track of which one's Lady Coral Lavender, which one's Rose Quartz, and which one's Moonstone, I'm not going to be able to remember. So I'm just going to label each and every pot with what it is. So when it comes time, I'll know what they are. And I believe I'll go ahead and start hardening these off as well and getting them ready to go outside. I feel like by the time that they're hardened off, which will be in about 2 weeks, they'll be a little bit bigger and be able to fend for themselves out in the garden. I also got some sunflowers in the ground, guys. So I don't know if this is true. It's not tried and tested, but I've seen on the internet, so it's got to be true, right? That sunflower seedlings can take a light frost. So putting that to the test, because there's a good chance we'll probably have one more frost before our last frost date. And we'll see what happens. I'm really hoping to have some sunflowers by Mother's Day. And I don't like to start sunflowers indoors. I like to direct sow them and let them come up. They just seem to do better for me that way. Alright, so I will pot up the rest of the aster that I have. If you're interested in more how to grow videos, be sure to check out the how to grow playlist right here. If you'd like to watch me have a mental breakdown while I prep the beds for the season, check out the video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.